Hi, this is Larry London. Welcome to Border Crossings. Joining us today, once again, this is the second time we've been fortunate to have this guest on our program, and we've got some exciting news about his brand new EP and an upcoming tour. Finally, the world is opening up. Finally, the singers can get out and do what they love to do and what they do best. We'd like to welcome Teddy Swims back to the Voice of America and Border Crossings. It's great to have you with us, Teddy Swims.
Great to be back, man. I think the last time we talked, I was on the way to Nashville or something. We was on a phone call while I was driving down the road.
Yes. Because of technology, we were able to make an in-car interview happen. So this time we've got you in studio, and I assume you're at home in your home studio?
Yes, sir. Right here in Tucker, man. Right outside of Atlanta.
You were born and raised in Atlanta, and you started off with a band. Are you still with that same band? You still have, I think they were called the Wild Heart. Are you still doing
Wild Heart? But at the same time, I was in a band called Elephants as well, and those guys still play with me and playing Teddy Swims now. So we still work together. They'll be here about noon, about the next 45 minutes. They'll be storming in here ready to work. And I'll be like, guys, get out of here. I'm in an interview.
Well, I know Teddy sings, and I know Teddy writes, and I know Teddy plays football. Does Teddy swim?
Actually, I don't, man. I hate water. I hate anything that I'm not in complete control of my body. I can't be in an elevator with more than 4 people. I am terrified of heights, water, anything that I feel like strapped into. I need full control of me on land is like where I'm in best control of myself, and that's where I got to keep it. You know what I mean?
This must have been a real challenging time then, because we have been limited and we have been confined over this last 15 months or so now because of the pandemic. How have you been able to overcome these challenges?
Man, luckily I'm with my best friends all the time, and I'm honestly really, really happy with the way things happened. It gave us a lot of time together to write and to figure out, who I want to be and what I want to say, what I want to stand for, what Teddy Swims is even supposed to be, which I'm still probably kind of clueless. But I've had my best friends here, and we were able to build this beautiful studio and just make our team stronger and better. And I mean, there was a lot of pros to this as well as cons. And I finally, in the last 3 months, got it together and have been like, cutting back the drinking, eating clean, working out. I wish I'd have done that over the whole pandemic, but there was a first 6-month depression thing I think we all went through where we were just eating like awful people.
Yeah, this has really been a hard time for mental health folks. I mean, because man, this is whew.
That has been the most important thing over this. But I think I learned a whole lot about taking mental health seriously, and really, really knowing that it's a thing that I have to keep up with, man. Because I was just so focused and pushing forward that I didn't think until it got rug pulled out from under me. Like, wow, man, I had told myself forever that one day I was going to make it in music, whatever that means, and that all my problems were going to be fixed. And that wasn't true. I was still sad. So,
Really? That's interesting. I read where you had said at a very early age you want to be one of the biggest artists in the world. So you've always wanted this goal. This has been there, where some artists really don't. This is not what they're thinking about in an early age. But you've been thinking about conquering the world forever.
Yeah, I grew up, my granddad Pentecostal, so he was a Pentecostal pastor. So my whole life, it's just been people in my life telling me, you have this calling, and the calling of God is without repentance. You can't run from this, son. You're going to change the world. Kids, just people shaking me all the time when I was a kid into that. And so I always, for the last few years, all the struggles and everything that I went through, all the dead-end jobs that I refused to get a real job, I just put all these issues aside, thinking that one day I was going to be able to do music for a living and taking care of my family and friends, and it was all going to be okay after that. And then there was going to be no problems, and that was not true at all. There are still issues that you face as a human. Just because you get what you want out of life doesn't mean you're going to be happy. And so I kind of set myself up for failure then. So I'm thankful for the pandemic in that regard, because it gave me a lot of time to really see that I had to do some work internally and how I look at myself, because it doesn't matter how many people tell you you're awesome. If you don't think that, nobody can convince you otherwise. And I just thought when there was a huge scale of people telling me how wonderful I am, that I'd eventually believe that I was a wonderful person. And, that it doesn't work like that. You have to own that yourself.
Yes, and it's a daily project. It's always a challenge that I mean, everybody has bad days and good days, but what makes it especially hard for someone in your position is you can't escape the spotlight. Everything you do, you're under a microscope. Social media is everywhere. Everybody's got an opinion on social media. So it's hard to have a thick skin, which you need to have in your business to be able to deflect that stuff, the negative noise, the haters, the naysayers.
And it's also hard to remember that social media is fake. It's hard to remember that everybody's putting their best foot forward on social media. And even myself is putting this whole incredible life that we're living that's way cooler than yours on social media, right? And it's not that case. And so I've really been trying to do my best, over this last few months of being vulnerable with where I'm at and what I'm doing. And and with everything that as I'm growing, and just being vulnerable and being a human, man, because you look at all your favorite stars or your friends you grew up with in high school, and you see how amazing they're doing, and you think that they don't have issues. They're just looking good, feeling good, living their best life. And that's not real, and that's not true. Everybody's just putting their best foot forward.
Right. And they can hide it a lot easier than anybody in show business can. That's for sure.
Sure, that's for sure.
But you are, and I hate to say it and be cliche, but you are talented and you are good. And, you have obviously proven that. Millions of followers, millions of streams, tremendous success story already. And you're now going into the next chapter of that. I mean, we've got light at the end of the tunnel. You're going on tour with the Zac Brown Band. So,
Great.
That's exciting.
Yeah, but we just played to 700 people like a year and a half ago, and now we're Fenway Park at 35,000 people. It's horrifying, man. It's just scary as hell. But I'm hoping that I get out there and it just clicks. I just hope so.
Some artists prefer the small crowds because it's more intimate and they can connect with the lyrics versus the big sea of people.
I know when there's a bunch of people, I don't know how to connect with that. I don't know if you can't see everybody's face. You can't, really grab a certain person. And, I'm like I'm a huge people watcher, and I love to create stories for people's lives sometimes, because we get so caught up in especially my manager, Luke, he loves the analytics game, and he loves the percentages and all the numbers and all the views. And he gets so caught into that, and where it's amazing. And of course, analytics and views equals, money to him. Sure. Somehow you tend to fall back on thinking that, wow, those are real people with real lives, really investing. And, without being able to see people face to face, you don't get those stories as much of people, hey man, this song really changed my life, or Teddy, I love this song got me through my divorce, or my, whatever it may be. You don't get to see those kind of stories as much. And so it's easy to become jaded and forget that you are making a difference in this pandemic, because you just feel like you just see your numbers growing and you're like, yeah, baby, business going great, but you don't.
It's all about streams now, we're measuring things in streams.
And so you don't get to connect with those people. And so sometimes if I see a random comment from a Vanessa, I'm like, all right, Vanessa she's got 3 kids. She's she works at a Starbucks, and she's got 2 dogs. I just try to create something so I can stay connected and feel more human as it goes, because you just
a person there, right?
Numbers.
That's the name. Yeah. And I saw you on Colbert. You sounded great. I'm really excited, about the tour and the CD. Unlearning is the new EP. And so why did you call it Unlearning? Is there a message there? Is there something going on?
Yeah, I think to do with so much of this last year and a half, or however long it's been, it's unlearning was something I feel like we all really had to do, whether it was the social climate and how we how we thought we were and who we thought we were. And also, you know, when I was growing up, there was just so much of me that told myself when I was by this age, I would have this level of success, or when I was younger and growing up in bands, I always thought I was going to be this guy in a bunch of different bands doing whatever I wanted to do. And I just completely have to daily, like we were talking about, it's a daily project of more than learning. It's unlearning what you're telling yourself and what your stigma is. And really, as my other dad now, or my mentor DDP always tells me, he says, you got to own that 6-inch piece of real estate between your ears and really take yourself and unlearn those bad habits and those bad ways that you used to look at yourself, and really just accept and love where you're at and really be present in every moment rather than, you know. So there was just a bunch of unlearning that I had to do in becoming who I am, and understanding that it's okay to be lost, and it's okay to not know, and it's okay to be afraid, and it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay, you know. And so I think that's something that I just wanted to share, you know, because even the 7 songs we've released, there's hundreds more that I'm like, well, we should have did, maybe I wish we would have done, or if only we did, you know. And you just gotta cut all that out, and just all that out of your head, and just see what's in front of you, you know. And so I think it was something that I, as well as everybody I know, we all had to kind of unlearn some things coming into this last year and a half. So
right. Well, you know, kudos to you, because for anybody who's not experienced having to dig themselves out of a dark place, or, you know, having to reinvent themselves, reinvent their thinking, they have no idea what's involved. There's no idea whatsoever. And you know, you are always a very positive light. You've always just been that, but nobody knows other than you what goes on, you know, behind the doors, behind the curtain, behind, you know, the scenes. And so, in the pains and the struggles that you have been through, we're glad you've got the new EP. We're glad that you are, you know, coming out on the road soon. And hopefully that tour will be a global tour. I mean, I don't know. I only saw the US schedule, but you know, I think that, you know, there's an opportunity for fans who are watching this program in 100 different countries around the world that would love Teddy Swims.
Yeah, I hope so. Right now, we only have the first 9 days with Zach on his US part. So hopefully he just, you know, absolutely loves it. And I can't wait to meet the guy. Hopefully I get to meet him, and maybe hopefully he falls in love with Teddy Swims too, and then we just become best buddies, and he takes me everywhere with him.
Well, people will wonder, where did you get the name? I mean, how did you get that name?
Well, I've been called Teddy for a really long time, and coming up in church and stuff. My real name's Jayton, so Jayton was just kind of always harder on especially waiting tables when I was coming up too. Jayton was just hard for people to say, because like Jason, Jamie, Jaden. So it was just, I was always just Teddy, you know. They just like, I was just a little chunky little kid running around. So I was always Teddy. And Swims is actually my whole team's unit. It stands for someone who isn't me sometimes. And it's, you know, it's just all of our effort to coming from different bands and different walks of life, where we are playing metal and all sorts of other genres, that it was like this blend of us trying to figure out what the hell this was. And so where it's Swims Initiative. And so it was just Teddy from Swims Initiative somehow became this singular Teddy Swims. And then I just stuck. I honestly it's still growing on me, because people like the name, but even when they were like, how about Teddy Swims? I was like, I kind of hate it.
Well, we're talking with Teddy Swims, who's getting used to his name. And and I wonder what his old football teammates think about the name Teddy Swims. Pass it, no, Teddy, block. But so Teddy Swims is going to talk more about the new EP. We're going to ask him, because I see you have acronyms. So Swims is an acronym. We're going to find out what life means, what the acronym for life is about. And we also want to ask about some of the other things going on in your life and the charities that you're involved with. I believe the NAACP, you're very supportive of that cause, and some other things as well. But first, we want to get a song. So what are you going to do for us?
I want to play Bed on Fire for you, because that song is already and continues to change my life since I wrote it. So that's definitely one we will be playing.
All right. Well, that's huge. I love it. Teddy Swims, great voice, great sound. Let's check it out. Bed on Fire. Here he is on the Voice of America.
shadows driving past. I hope one night it's not you going, 'cause you woke up and realized what you could have. You sleep with peace of mind, you don't worry. I'm wide awake, I know it's gonna hurt. Least you could do is show a little mercy now. So if you're gonna leave me in the middle of the night, set the bed on fire, set the bed on fire. If you're gonna leave me, and don't say goodbye. Just set the bed on fire, baby, set the bed on fire, and let it burn, let it burn, let it burn all the way to the ground. Let it burn, let it burn, let it burn, let it burn on down. Sometimes I wonder what you're thinking. You say you love me, but sometimes I have my doubts. Baby, what if our ship was sinking? Would I be the only one hanging on when it goes down? You sleep with peace of mind, you don't worry. I'm wide awake, I know it's gonna hurt. The least you could do is show a little mercy now. So if you're gonna leave me in the middle of the night, set the bed on fire, set the bed on fire. If you're gonna leave me, and don't say goodbye. Just set the bed on fire, baby, set the bed on fire, and let it burn, let it burn, let it burn all the way to the ground. Let it burn, let it burn, let it burn, let it burn on down. Let it burn, let it burn, let it burn all the way to the ground. Let it burn, let it burn, let it burn, let it burn on down.
Teddy Swims, Bed on Fire, and we're talking with Teddy Swims right now, whose newest EP just came out not too long ago, and it's called Unlearning. And so you have, I believe, a new project as well called Life, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And what does, and it's, I saw period, so it's an acronym for something. So what does it, what's the meaning behind that?
Well, I'm a huge sucker for acrostic poems, and basically that song right there is the one song on this EP that I didn't have a hand in writing. I actually Pooh Bear and John Ryan, who I've worked with on a couple of occasions. I got this song sent to me and when I listen to the song, so I get pitched a lot of songs all the time, you know, and I'm quite jaded when it comes to pitch songs, because of course as artists we always like to think I write my songs, I do my own thing, you know, I don't take outside, which is such a silly mindset to have. Another thing I had to unlearn, because you know, actors are such amazing artists and they don't always write their own words and write, so we should be able to just take outside songs and sing. I mean, I started out in covers and I'm here because of songs I didn't write. And so I should be able to, well, out of all the songs I get pitched all the time, I heard this song Life. And I mean, I had never had anything just hit me in the gut like that. That was just like, oh my gosh, this song is so incredible. So the beautiful part about Life is that every word in all the verses actually spell out life. So it starts with love isn't for everyone. Left inside feeling empty. Looking into flaming eyes. You know, and so every verse lyric actually spells out the first word is L and the second is I and then F and E. And so it's just this beautiful acrostic poem where the chorus is that's just life. It's so beautifully written. I wish I could have just been a fly on the wall in that session of them writing that song, because it's like one of the most well-written songs I've ever heard in my life. And when I first heard it, I was like, I have to be the one to sing this. This is my song. I'm going to sing this song so good that they will never think anybody else can have it. This is mine.
That's great. And you mentioned the songwriters. You work with some of the biggest songwriters in the business who've written for Justin Bieber and Pink and so many other songwriters, from so many other artists who've had success with other people. how does when a songwriter brings a song to you, and it's not necessarily a songwriter whose experience has been with the style of music you have, how do you change that? How do you work that song? What's the process that you make that song your own?
Well, it depends a lot with the writer. You know, if they do bring me a song, some of them, some writers are very just like I am, very precious with some of their stuff. But it's hard to, you have to like put yourself outside of something and really try to appreciate something, even something that you write, as a listener would appreciate it, because we get so close to something that we tend to do 100 versions of this song. We listen to it 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times, even 100,000 times a day. We're recording it. You listen to the song, so you get used to hearing it one way, and then somebody changes it, and then it messes you up, and then you got to listen to that 100 times to get used to that. And then this thing called demoitis is the real issue, you know. And so it's definitely hard to authentically sometimes bring yourself to a song. But I look at artists like Frank Sinatra or Marvin Gaye who never really wrote songs, you know, and they were always able to they were the best A&Rs in the world. They could take a great song and know exactly how to authentically bring themselves to this song and change this song to suit their needs and how they would portray the message. And that's something, you know, I'm still learning and probably always will be learning. Mm-hmm. Luckily, you know, from the covers and that being some sort of success there, I have a little bit of experience in trying to make a song mine. And again, I got my best friends in the world here with me all the time, telling me, you know, yo, this is not good, or this is good, or helping me, you know, kind of bridge the gap. So it's definitely a learning curve. But
is it easier for you to sing your own songs? I would assume it is, because you know the meanings of the words and the intention of the song.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. It's much easier to connect, but you know, there's nothing in the world like when a song does connect. And that's what I'm trying to learn right now is as I'm getting pitched more and more songs is every song that I hear that absolutely connects my song, or is there some songs that a song could connect if I knew how to bring myself to it properly? And that's something that I try to go back in with my label all the time, because, you know, Aaron might send me a song and be like, yo, this is your song. I know this is amazing. You have to try it. And I'd be like, I don't know. I don't think it connects. He's like, just give it a shot. And so, but every once in a while, you know, I will, and then it'll come out beautifully at the end once I've tried to bring myself to it. Mm. So it's hard because sometimes you try to and it's just absolutely not it. Or sometimes I get a pitch and I'm like, no, just let me do my thing. I promise this is going to work. And it just doesn't. And then they're like, I told you. But it's a back and forth, you know, sometimes. But that's why you have a partner and a team. And I'm thankful that mine is exactly who it is. I made the right decision every day.
Yes. You have a great label behind you too. I mean, the folks there are great. You know, I work Darren and all those people. They're really, really good at that label.
Yeah, Darren's I know he's listening right now too.
Yep. He's a beast. He's the beast. So I did want to ask that, you know, as far as the tour goes, how long do you think it's going to last? I mean, for an artist, once you get on the road, you waited for this moment. It's coming in August. You get on the road. We're talking about whether or not you're with the Zac Brown Band, you'll be on the road for years and years. Is that kind of how it works?
Yeah, so we have the first 9 dates on Zac Brown's tour, which is kind of like weekend tour. So we'll be like going out on a Friday and then coming home on a Sunday, and then a week later doing the same thing for his first like 9 dates. I think like for those 3 weeks or all through August, we'll kind of be there. And then, you know, we have a couple, we have Music Midtown and Life is Beautiful. I don't know if I'm allowed to say Music Midtown yet because they haven't dropped the...
We'll keep it between us.
I don't know if they dropped the lineup yet, but we do have like in September in Vegas, which I'm so excited about. There's a lot of huge people on that, you know, and so we're kind of slowly getting back into it. We have November. I think we're still trying to work the UK tour out from last year. Hopefully that's going to be November. But
how about a studio album? Are you planning on that? A full?
Yeah. We're writing every single day, and we have probably some 300 songs in a bank right now that just every day. I got a session in front of me right now from yesterday that I'm picking away at. Well, I was waiting on you guys to get on. I was just picking away at this song, and my manager comes in here, is like, dude, you got an interview, get off that. I'm just getting picky with it now. So I needed to just stop, because I start getting where I work too much on it. And then by the time you're like getting to the point where it's like sounding good, you're like, I should have just left it where it was yesterday.
Same with anything in life. You get too into it, and you'll step back and say, what was wrong with the original, you know? Yeah. I know you re-recorded a Marvin Gaye song, and you donated the proceeds of the sales to the NAACP. You're very supportive of the Black Lives Matter movement, and that. How did you get connected to that cause?
I mean, of course, for me, I think especially with the social climate the way it was, and how that was such a movement happening, it really, in the pandemic, gave me a lot of time to realize like what I wanted to use my platform to do and to say. And I think it was just a perfect time for me to stand up and use my platform for the right cause and the right thing. And as I was home, and I was able to go back to my hometown in Conyers, and I found out about this kid, Shally Tilson, which is right there in my hometown, Rockdale County, in Conyers, Georgia, where I grew up, about 30 minutes east of Atlanta. And I found out about this kid, Shally. He actually was in, it happened about 3 years ago now. He's a 22-year-old Black man, and he got arrested one night and put into solitary confinement for 9 days, no food or water, until he died right there in solitary confinement in my hometown in Rockdale County Jail. And nobody's been held accountable. The intercom system in their solitary confinement is still messed up, where that kid was trying to buzz and get help. And they said they checked on him every 15 minutes. Of course, they didn't, because he died of starvation and dehydration. And nobody's held accountable. Nobody knows about the situation. And that was for me when I really when I was doing some of the marches in Atlanta and trying to get more involved and learning more about it. I realized that this is happening, all over the place, especially in small towns. There's Shally Tilsons everywhere that are just getting brushed under the rug, and nobody's being held accountable for. And we hear about the Breonna Taylors and the George Floyds, but it just made me want to encourage every single person to check in the small towns that they grew up in, because there's probably very similar situations that are happening that we're not hearing about. Nobody's hearing about Shally Tilson or being held accountable for Shally Tilson. And for me, that became a wake-up call for me, that there is something that I can do to help, because it's easy to feel like, oh, I can't do anything to change that, or I can't make any move to change that, or I don't want to sound like I'm the way too woke white guy that's trying to tell everybody Black Lives Matter, because they don't, of course they don't need me to do that. That's not my place to say I know what you go through as a Black person or anything like that, but I definitely have a platform to say something, and I can at least open eyes of people that haven't heard of this story. It's not my place to tell his story, but it's definitely my place to share and to say, like, look, man, his family is the most beautiful family in the world, and they lost Shally. And I just encourage everybody to look into their hometowns and really see what's going on, because the change really starts right where you're at in your spot.
Well, God bless you for using your platform in the way that you're using it, and for making yourself, as you said, your word, vulnerable to your fans, because I think that kind of that lets people in a little more. And a lot of artists put a wall and don't, but you are letting people in, and you're using your fame and your positive message. You're a great role model for people. So congratulations on all the success. We're going to talk with Teddy Swims about some of his hobbies, but before we do that, I think you're doing another song for us, if I'm not mistaken. Are you doing 2 songs?
Yeah, I would love to. I'm gonna play Life for you.
Oh, great. Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
exciting lyrics. Yeah, we talked about it, so let's check it out. Teddy Swims, and this is called Life, here on Border Crossings.
Love isn't for everyone. left inside feeling empty. Looking in the flaming eyes, lost and fade endlessly. And that's just life, that's just life, that's just life, that's just life, oh yeah. Sometimes it ain't easy, but that's just life, that's just life, that's just life, that's just life, oh yeah. Nobody said it would be easy, that's just life, yeah. No, no. Listen, it's out for echoes. Oh, light is falling everywhere. Let it forever empower. Ooh, yeah. Let it forgive every care. And that's just life. That's just life. That's just life. That's just life. Oh, yeah. Sometimes it ain't easy, but that's just life. That's just life. That's just life. That's just life. Oh yeah. Nobody said it would be easy. That's just life. Yeah. No, no. That's just life. Yeah.
Border Crossings, we're with Teddy Swims. That song is called Life. I love how you said it's a poem, kind of, I love the way that you integrated the lyrics. You and the songwriters work together to create the word life and use those letters throughout the song. That's creativity. That's art.
Yeah, an acrostic poem. It's so powerful. Like, again, when it got sent to me, I couldn't not sing it. So it's an incredible song.
And it's Unlearning. It's on the new EP.
Yes, it is. It's the focus track and the first track on Unlearning.
Excellent. 7 songs on the new EP, Unlearning. And where can people get the EP? I guess you can get it anywhere the records are sold, Spotify and everywhere else.
Yeah, anywhere, any of your favorite platforms that you stream from. And then, of course, there's a music video we dropped for Life as well.
Well, thank you. You are a hero to so many people around the world. I know you're probably not comfortable hearing that, but you are an inspiration and a role model for many, many kids. There are kids growing up who want to be Teddy Swims. Believe it or not, obviously the numbers are there, millions and millions of streams, millions of followers, the critics are loving you. I'm reading all these great reviews. So, congratulations to you. Kudos on maintaining the positivity and the direction. And congratulations on the new EP, Unlearning.
And thank you so much, Bo.
Well, I hope you'll come back and join us when you're in Washington, D.C. Love to have you.
Time, Larry. You know it, man. You're my boy.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Teddy Swims. And this is the Voice of America. The new EP is called Unlearning. Thanks for watching Border Crossings.